Hey everyone, welcome back to Limit Breaker Fitness. Monty here again. So last week I did a video on how to lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. So I thought today I would take a little bit of a deeper dive into just how muscle is gained and how we can get more hypertrophy or muscle growth. Now, hypertrophy occurs when the cells enlarge. We don't actually add more muscle cells when we're trying to gain muscle. The muscle cells that we have do enlarge. And to do that, there's going to be 3 different mechanisms that we can utilize. And if you're not utilizing one of these or maybe a couple of these in your training, that might be where you're hitting that plateau. So whichever one you're not doing, throw it in there and you'll probably see some pretty decent results. But let's get to it. So the first one is called mechanical tension. Now, mechanical tension, simply put, is lifting a weight and lifting it through the full range of motion. So when you're lifting that weight, you're putting a tension on the muscle fibers, and over time, the fibers are going to want to adapt so that you can lift more weight. Now, there is a problem with this in that of the 3 mechanisms we're discussing today, this is actually the least effective when it comes to actually getting hypertrophy to occur. This is an important way to train. This is the concentric portion of our exercises. And this is where we get power and we're able to move weight. But it's also doesn't elicit hypertrophy. And a lot of the gains that we see during this kind of training has to do with neural adaptations, actually. Basically, the more you do an exercise, the more your brain's like, oh, wait, I know how to do this. And you get better at it and better at it. And that can last for a while. And the effects of hypertrophy that come from this kind of training really doesn't happen until like a couple of months into an exercise. So if you're switching around exercises way too often, you'll probably notice that you're not actually able to gain a lot of muscle. Now, the second way that we can build muscle and elicit hypertrophy is through muscle breakdown. Now, when we're lifting, we're going to get a lot of muscle breakdown occurring, but we want to focus on the eccentric portion or the lowering of an exercise. What's going to happen is we're going to get a lot more muscle breakdown, and then our body's going to be like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't normal. I need to fix this, and I need to prevent it from happening again. So what's going to happen is the body will go in and it'll fix all those micro tears that we have in our muscle, and then it's going to build a little more muscle in order to try and prevent that from happening again. And that's how we end up getting hypertrophy that way. Now, the third way to do it is through metabolic stress. Now, maybe you are very consistent with your lifting. Maybe you do focus on the eccentric, but now you need just a little more, okay? So this is a good way to do it. Now, metabolic stress, what's going to happen is while we're lifting, there's going to be a lot of metabolites or waste products that build up in our muscle, things like lactic acid. And the buildup of those products, once again, it's not good. So our body's like, hey, I need to fix this and I need to prevent it from happening again. So it's going to cause an anabolic effect. The body will clear that out and it'll adapt so that it doesn't happen quite as often. How do we elicit this? Well, supersets. Increase your weight and increase your reps just a little bit and decrease the amount of rest time that you have between your sets. And that's going to get you that metabolic response, otherwise known as the pump. And that's all I got for you today, guys. So let's recap real quick. Muscle hypertrophy, the enlargement of the muscle cells, and then that leads to the enlargement and growth of the muscles. Done through mechanical tension, done through muscle breakdown, and it's done through metabolic stress. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and more importantly, send me an email, limitbreakerfitnessllc@gmail.com, if you're interested on getting a training program and a meal plan that's tailored to you and your goals and incorporates all of these kinds of ideas. Let me know. Hit it right there, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.